This is the Universal Wrestling Podcast. Inside the ring, outside the ring, it's all here.
We're talking about the greatest sport of all, professional wrestling.
Come on! And now, here's Nick and Keith.
Yes, sir. We're back. How you doing? Welcome to the Universal Wrestling Podcast. My name is Nick. Bum, 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 bum. Keith. He's back. Doesn't seem like we left because we're still throwing out the content, but we're back. This is fun. I mean, we're doing the best of, or what are we doing right now? The
Raw.
Weekly
yes.
picks.
Right. Yes.
UW. Yes.
Yeah, man.
Weekly
Killing it
picks.
there on the edit.
Fun. We're doing like rookies. We're doing potential, most potential, least potential. So it's fun. We're still doing it, but we're back. We're going to talk a little current wrestling. We're going to talk some WWE Raw Netflix, but more importantly, Keith, number 2, buddy. How are you?
Yeah, man.
Good.
For the world, for those in the world that don't know, my second little baby boy, Rory Price, he came here. Got his here on December 2nd. A little touch and go, a little annoying. Not annoying is not the right word. He's not annoying. He's perfect. But situation there to start with. Yep. But no, we're home. We're level. We're good. Puked on me. I was just telling Nick before we started here, I got a brand new cool Sami Zayn shirt for Christmas for my wife. I was all stoked to wear it today. I haven't worn it since I got it because I was waiting to be recording again to wear it. Had it on this morning and got a nice just splotch of breast milk all over me. So, fatherhood. Yeah. So, but no.
That's life.
It's good. It's been really crazy. Like you'll experience this here sooner or later, big guy, I'm sure. But it's like weird, like the things like you forget. Like it's like I get up in the morning with him and like I'll bring him down, I'll feed him and whatnot, and I'm just with him. And then when Marty wakes up and I go get him, I'm just like, I mean, he's not even 2 yet, but I'm just like, you're like a human being. You're huge. This is crazy.
Yeah.
Like you don't even look like a baby at all because I have this other little 10-pound hoagie I'm walking around with. Like, it's wild.
Yeah, no, it is. Yeah,
man, it's been good.
It's just like
getting ourselves all together here.
I know for me, when I first, after everything and we were allowed to leave the hospital, getting in the car for the first time was like, holy shit, do I take this thing home? Like, this is a human. Like, it's just crazy. But yeah, we're here.
You're just like, oh, I can leave now with him? Weird. Okay.
You're walking out to the parking garage and it's like, how do I put this in the car seat,
Yeah.
It's just, that's life. But right here on the UW pod, we're going to talk some wrestling. So let's get into it, Keith.
Yes.
Baby, Netflix. Raw debut on Netflix. Let's just get into it. Let's just start with the opening segment. It was very interesting. It was a little different. The camera angles were a little different, but it was pretty much just a promo going back to the first WWE Raw to now the debut on Netflix, and it showed different aspects of different segments, different big moments of Raw. But I thought it was a great way to start a very important show. There's no big negatives, but it was just a little hard to follow because you didn't see the actual video package. You saw the video package, but as in the stadium watching the big screen. But overall, I thought it was great. I mean, this is every NXT during the Black and Gold brand. Just awesome video package. Trips. Yeah. Are you ready? But let's hear it. What is your overall thought of just the start of a new era? I guess that's what he said. Right? The Netflix era.
Yeah, I thought it was cool. I mean, there was a couple missteps. We'll get into those, but not really like nothing from like what am I trying to say here? Like nothing from like a production sort of standpoint or anything. Like it was really cool. Like just like not having commercials. Really, like it's just kind of this continuous thing. That was awesome. It was, bottom line, like it was, I enjoyed it. I thought it was a good debut. I'm really curious to see like if it continues the same way or if it was like this one was kind of this way to like bring out all the stops, try to bring this new audience in, and then it's just going to kind of like
Yeah.
revert back to what it's been, just like on Netflix instead of on USA or
Yeah.
wherever
It
it
kind
does.
of Yeah, it kind of reminded me of when SmackDown debuted on Fox. They had the big red carpet and
Exactly.
cool
Exactly.
Tron and Brock beating Cody.
Kieran and
Yeah,
Macaulay Culkin. Yeah, that was
yeah.
crazy.
Oh, yes, exactly. All the big
All the stars.
celebrities.
Yeah.
But yeah, as an opening, it was cool. I don't.
Yeah.
There's nothing big it was just that's WWE production. That's the entertainment
Right.
aspect that we all
Exactly.
love. So let's get to the next segment. Here we go. Yeah, the Rock segment. So I'm just gonna be straight up here. The Rock segment. He came out and he said nothing. He likes Cody, and it just all comes back to this was his plan. This is his plan. Everybody was booing me when I said Cody sucks and all this and Cody crybabies,
Cody, yeah.
babies. And now that I'm back and I said something along the lines of I love Cody and I'm taking shots with him in the parking lot, they're booing me. It's like, okay, whatever. Again, I don't want to get too deep into it. This is an amazing show, but this segment just, I don't know, blah. But it was good. It was cool. Again, Keith, for the casual fans, this is what you want. You want The Rock to come out and do the la 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 and smack it down in the SmackDown hotel and this and that. But this is the UW pod, and we're not very much big fans of The Rock. But
Yeah,
again, let's hear it.
yeah, no. So that's what I was kind of saying before. Like this is like the sort of like the first, the opening package, Triple H, the big screen that drops and all of the amazing.
Yeah.
And then The Rock came out, and it was like,
Yeah.
I tried to be. I was optimistic. I was like, I get it.
Yes.
For how much I'll rag on, things relying on nostalgia too much sometimes and everything, and how as we have said in the videos that have been up and everything, I was kind of ragging on like Jericho a little bit about like how they're like,
Yeah.
it'll bring eyes to the product, to this new thing, it'll bring them over and all, and it's like, well, The Rock is a different story. The Rock is definitely something that, like, if you're trying to bring more people in to see your thing and all, he's a literal worldwide name now that happens to, luckily enough, be associated with wrestling. So you put him on first segment, you bring those people in to see that happen. They're there. I know this person. I can listen to this person. I care about what this person is saying. Great. But it was just stupid. Like I don't know how to be even nicer about it. I was like optimistic about it being a thing at first, and then he opened his mouth and it just died a death again. Where I'm just like, it was either if he wasn't just like whacking himself off, or the things that he does off, or all of his brands, or talking about like Moana and stuff. It was if he wasn't doing any of those things, then he was just contradicting everything else that's happened with him, like since. Like, hey, Cody Rhodes has been doing a great job. It's like, really? Because you told his mom you were gonna beat him to a pulp and then present her with the bloody belt like 6 months ago.
Yeah.
I get that people change, but like that drastically? That's how drastically we change? Jesus. Whiplash. And just like, I get kayfabe and, all those things and whatnot, but like, I don't know. It was too drastic of a thing for me. And
Yeah. Again, as a casual fan, holy shit, The Rock, the cool entrance, the final boss,
right.
Really cool. Going up to his family, giving his daughters the belts and just, soaking it in. Yes, that's what you want as a casual fan. Keith, I'm going to play a little clip and then I want to get your perspective on it, and then we can get to the next segment, which would be, or the next match is Roman and Solo. But I found this really interesting. Let's play it and let's hear what you got to say.
I think The Rock was like, I did what I had to do at WrestleMania 40. as he said in that fucking documentary on YouTube, we made that small portions of the fans happy that wanted to see Cody Rhodes finish the story. We did that for the fans at WrestleMania 40. But moving forward, I ain't doing that anymore.
Yeah. So I love it. I think that Dave is passionate, and I tend to agree with him on certain aspects. I think the one thing that I'll say, and then let's get on with it. But did The Rock? Was that like something he asked to do?
Right.
Start off the debut of Raw on Netflix, or was that something Trips, said, "Hey, let's do." That's what I'm getting at. I'm getting at as this is just going to be a back and forth thing. No, I'm right. No, you're right. No, I'm right. I know it's a little negative, but I just wanted to hear
Yeah.
your thoughts, and then we'll get on to the next match here.
No, that's totally what it is. It's like, well, it's something that just like maybe that's the intention. But we'll never know until they decide to do a documentary
Yeah.
on it after the fallout happens and
Yeah.
whatever fallout is going to be,
Yeah.
And but like, I don't know. And it like sucks to put it that way because it's just like I don't know if it like makes if it's just because like we're all like just cynical wrestling fans and whatnot or whatever. But
Yeah.
like it sucks that we have to like think that way. Like it sucks that it couldn't just be something like he comes out and he does that and it's all just like cool, all right. Like
Yeah.
I guess part of it is that like because of like I don't know how to like form the words I'm saying. Like I'm trying to say like it sucks that we're thinking that way, but we think that way because that's like he's proven himself to be that way in the past, like all the crap of like, he's coming back, so he wanted that main event spot, but then but it was my idea when I saw the reaction of the fans. No, you didn't. It wasn't your idea at all. It was never the game plan was never for it to be this way. You came back, you wanted your moment, then we turned on you because we wanted the moment we wanted. That wasn't a small amount of fans either. Like, get the hell out of here with that. That was a huge amount of fans, like crazy. And then you pivoted, you corrected that and everything. Like, because of all that nonsense happening, maybe what Dave said here was The Rock's intention, but like, I don't know. I don't really believe that necessarily because I kind of think based on what was going to happen before everybody turned on him, like no, he wanted to be a big part of everything with it all because I don't know why he does, like because he's a big enough. You would assume he's a big enough, Hollywood star, especially now with again Moana 2 coming out and everything. Like he's going to be all over the place again. Like I don't know.
In that UFC movie.
Just
all right.
We gotta not like we just gotta pump the brakes on all the nostalgia sometimes.
Yeah.
That's all it is.
I get it. Yeah. You know what? No more Rock. Let's get to his family. Let's get to the next match here. Roman Reigns going one-on-one with Solo Sikoa. Decent match. Felt like I was watching the main event of WrestleMania 40 Night 2 all over again with everybody coming out. But that is professional wrestling. That is what it's all about. I am intrigued when it comes to the new Bloodline story. I don't know what you can do with Solo. I don't know what you can do. I mean, I know what you can do with Jacob and that storyline, but I'm intrigued. I'm here. I'm watching. I'm liking. I'm waiting. Decent match, not amazing, but I think the right person won. And again, it was just a match. It was great. That's what you wanted for a debut on Netflix. What do you got here, Keith?
Took the words right out of my mouth. It was a good match. Wasn't amazing. Did what it needed to do. The right person won. It advanced the story enough because I think now what we're ultimately going to end up getting to with the Bloodline storyline is Jacob being the one to try to take over, or Jacob not trying to and successfully taking over 2.0. And
I dig it.
Everything from there. I don't know if that is Solo getting kicked out of it entirely, and then that's where either Hikuleo or Zilla Fatu comes in to replace him and be his heavy or whatever. I don't know. But yeah, I think that's the next beat in that story, and I think this one really helped to set up. I was kind of surprised that this was like the first like like match
Match.
like proper on it.
Yep.
Just because like of how big the Bloodline storyline has been for the past couple of years. It was like a little bit like a little strange to see it as like a curtain jerker, but
Yeah.
it was fine. I mean, I guess it's like another. It's like in that same way of like trying to keep the bring in or keep the new audience. It's like that's something that you have everyone there from the Rocks, which is like, hey, here's like the current things we're doing. But if you want to stick around, you'll get to see CM Punk, who you saw 10 years ago. You know that guy. So you'll see his big one later on instead.
Yeah.
Yes, it makes sense from that kind of point of
Yeah.
view, which is what I think they were probably going for.
Again, like I said, the casual fan, you see Roman, Roman, he has the look, that's what you want. And it was wasn't a normal singles match. It was a little different. It was, bloodline rules or whatever the hell you call it. And
Tribal
that's
combat.
intriguing. Yeah, that's intriguing for the casual fan. Again, I'm intrigued to see what happens with the new bloodline with Paul Heyman. What's going to happen there? Sammy, Jay, Jimmy. That's all intriguing. I'm still intrigued. Is it in the 6th inning? I don't know, but I'm still, I'm here. I'm ready. I'm willing to take whatever, because we've known in the past, we've seen it in the past where you think it's almost over, and then oh my God, Sammy returns and he's with the bloodline and they're the war games, and it's just that's the WWE. Let's get to the next segment here. Cena's promo. For me, Keith, very cheesy. But again, for the casual fan,
Cena.
You're announcing your participation in the Rumble. It sells tickets. I dig it. I mean, I don't dig what he said, but again, it is what it is. What did you think?
I thought it was it was just Cena gonna Cena. It was just This could have been a Cena promo from back in like 2012, and it would have fit still.
Yeah.
Just without like the retirement mentions and whatever. It just it was what it was. I honestly don't have too much to say on it because it was just like okay, gotcha.
Yeah.
Next,
Again,
he didn't. There was like
fans.
it was. And it was another one that, like, yeah, exactly. That's going to bring the things in. People know John Cena. He's in movies. He's in stuff that isn't wrestling. So cool.
Yeah.
I think.
Yeah.
Ultimately, before even like diving into the rest of the segments and everything else too, like I think that was like the biggest concern. I'll call it, I guess. The biggest concern with like the first episode of the Netflix era with it is like I don't know, at least maybe for a little while, like I don't know how it almost made it feel like the show wasn't for like wrestling fans. It was like for new fans to become wrestling fans, but it was just like rather than us who watch on a weekly basis or follow the sheets and the whatever and are really into it and stuff and have podcasts and whatnot, like rather than playing to us, which is fine, you don't have to play to anybody, it's your freaking company, you do whatever you want to do, but like rather than like making a show for those kind of fans, it was like this felt like a show that was made to be like, we want more. It was like almost like a primer. Like it was like a pilot. That was the word I was looking for, not primer. It was almost like it was like a pilot episode for like a new like sitcom or something,
like a test.
But instead, it was wrestling. It was just kind of like, hey, here's these big sweeping points of things that like or like a season 2, like the first episode of season 2 of like a show that got wildly popular and toward the end of its first season. To be like, cool, we have all these new fans that are coming in. So like real quick, here's here's this thing that's happening. Here's this thing that was big that you recognize. Here's this other big thing that you recognize from before. And like sprinkled in the midst of it is kind of like, well, we're sort of advancing our things. Like here's a little bit more of where the bloodline's going, sort of. John Cena! And that's kind of like how it felt. It was just like every time it was like there was something new to happen, it was just like, oh, by the way, here's like, oh, here's Liv and Rhea. These guys this has been a big storyline we've had going on. But by the way, Undertaker, you guys know him, right? Look at him.
Oh, yes.
Like, okay.
Yeah. Good segue. Let's get into it. I mean, the next match is Rhea Ripley going one-on-one with Liv Morgan for the title. Man, this is it. This is what you want. Yes,
Yeah.
the main event was the main event, and that was probably the meat and potatoes of this episode if you're podcaster or a legitimate fan. But this was 1A 1B, man. I am so freaking happy for Rhea.
Yeah.
Cheeky Rhea, this I'm happy for Rhea. I'm happy that this feud is over. They've good match, good chemistry. I'm intrigued. I want to know
Yeah.
what's next. I saw that face. What do you think? You think
I'm
it's
just
not
no,
over?
no. I agree with you entirely. I hope
I
that the
hope.
feud is over. I don't know.
I
I
hope.
don't know for sure. And the only reason I say that, and it's not to like slight the rest of the women's division or anything, but like right now, I'm just it's kind of like who else is there?
Yeah.
Especially with them introducing. Not that it's a bad thing that they did, but like especially
No.
with them introducing the women's US title and the women's IC title, like.
Yeah.
I understand I'm the idiot too that like the obvious answer is going to be, well, the Rumble's coming up and there's a
Yep.
certain blonde-haired, tall,
Oh,
good wrestler
yeah.
that's been shoved down our throats in the past that has history with Rhea that's most likely going to come back because she's been away for a while.
Yeah.
So like, okay,
Yeah.
and that's fine. I am fine with that being where we move on to. If Rhea gets her win back from originally.
Yeah.
I don't want, yeah.
Yeah.
I don't even want to get into that.
Yeah.
But like, that's yeah, like just what it makes the most sense. I just don't know if I don't know if it's gonna be I hope it is the feud ender. I just don't know that it is because it's tough of like who else is on that level right now on
I can only think of
the
one.
Raw roster.
Yeah.
With the Raw women's roster.
Yeah, and I think it would be Bianca, and I don't know what that deal is, right? Like,
exactly. She's kind
she
of
was
already in the
talking to
midst of all
Pierce.
of this
Yeah.
other stuff because I think we haven't talked about this because it's been a little bit for it, but like I think she's the one who did attack Jade, and I'm finally gonna get my Bianca heel turn.
Yes.
So like she's mixed up already in her own thing. So like I agree with you. Yes, Bianca.
Yeah.
Totally.
She's
already got her own thing going on.
Yep.
Naomi's kind of mixed in as part of that. Jade's in as part of that. Those, two of those three at least. Sorry, Naomi. Two of those three could be contenders for it, but they're mixing in their own thing right now.
Yeah.
If you want to do crossover stuff, sure, I could see Bailey trying to make a run at it, I guess, because they're talking about they have that, the transfer portal or whatever it is. I don't remember when that starts, but that's coming up,
the wild card.
Exactly. That's just the new fancy name for the wild card rule. So that's fine.
Good shit.
Yeah.
But
yeah, I guess ultimately I just keep saying it over and over. It's just like I hope it's the feud ender, but unless I see someone that can step up for it, I don't know that the feud's going to be over because what else is she going to do for now?
Yeah. And I mean, your point is so valid. At the very end of the match, what happened? Dom tried to, right then and there, after Rhea won, Dom came back in and said, "Hey, let's try and make this thing, happen again." And that could lead to something else. Dom it's still what do they call it? A three-way, whatever it is. It is a triangle. There you go. I love triangle. I'm intrigued with that. I mean, what is next for Dom? I mean, this is huge. This is where Dom takes off. Can Dom take off? We know Dom can put on good matches with veterans, but can he do his own thing? That's the question. I don't know. I mean, yes, he's Ray's son, and he's getting all the the spotlight and the limelight with the cage and the WrestleMania entrances the past 2 years. It's the whole thing with Liv, the love story. This is cool, but when that ends, what's next for Dom? Can he step up? I don't know. I think he can. He has it in his blood. He has the entertainment aspect, but I don't know. But that intrigued me. That intrigues me. Yep. Let's just quickly go through this until we get to the main event. So Jay and Drew, okay. Drew should have won. It was an okay match. Jay storylines to me, Keith, it's just confusing. Maybe it's because of
Yeah,
injuries,
exactly.
but you got Rhea, you got the Bloodline, you got the IC title, you got
Yeah.
Braun Breaker. Now we're back to Drew. It's like, what are we doing? But okay, it's a match. We saw Drew. Drew's a hell of a heel. That's what you want to sell. That's what you want to put on your product, and that's what we got.
Yeah. No, I don't. I literally don't have anything to add to that. This was a match.
Yeah,
It was fine.
it was a match.
Jay's, I've ranted about Jay previously
Yep.
and how it's nothing like against him. He's a fine wrestler and all, but like I don't
Yeah.
get the hype as much as that like all is right now. I understand. I said night one I was totally yeeting with everybody, and I
yeeting,
understand
baby.
the kids like to yeet, and Michael Cole likes to yeet and everything, but like
Yeah, that was a little embarrassing. Yeah. Yep.
Yeah, once the entrance ends, it's literally like there was the NXT feud with NXT Karrion Kross and Adam Cole,
Oh yeah.
where Adam Cole had the promo on him where he's just like he's like, to make you special, they got to give you a special interest to make people watch you. He's like, for me, they just got to ring the bell. And he said something to him else where he was basically just like, your entrance happens and then the bell rings, and then what? Like, and it's kind of the same thing with Jay. It's just like, cool, there's this entrance and it's fun. And like watching his promos, like in his backstage segments and stuff, yeah, they're fun. But then once I watch you in the ring, I'm just like, okay, you wrestle like, Rikishi did because he's your dad. And I get that. But like,
yeah,
that was 25 years ago that I was into watching Rikishi wrestle.
Yeah. Exactly.
So,
Yep, that's enough there. The next segment, Hulk Hogan came out, got booed. He was in Cali. We're not going to talk politics, but it was embarrassing. I don't know what you do there. I don't know if you bring him back. I know he's trying to sell his beer, but it's just like if that happens on live TV on a really big episode, other fans in the other arenas are going to do the same thing. And I get it. Politics and absolutely personal. What he's done is unforgivable, but I don't think we need to talk. I mean, what do you got? And then
it's a quick one because it was an interesting point that brought up, and we don't have to get all deep into it. Whatever everyone's political affiliations and leanings are and everything, that's fine. If you're here watching us, we love you anyway. It doesn't matter. It doesn't matter what they are. It doesn't matter what ours are. You're listening to us. Who cares?
Yep.
It was definitely my thoughts I had with when it all happened was, first, I was laughing my ass off. I just was. Second, so that's the first thing that happened. The first thought then that popped in my head was just like, why would you bring him out in California? Because again, our political machinations and everything, and you watching and mine and Nick's and everyone don't care.
Yeah.
Generally speaking, though, California is a very blue state.
Yes.
Hulk Hogan is very much not blue. What did you think was going to happen? And then the counterpoint of I forget where I saw it today, but somebody else had mentioned, like, in terms of the political kind of thing, like Taker literally had Trump like on his podcast, and Taker still got cheered out with Rhea at the end. So like, I don't even know, it's not politics thing. It's just, and it made me remember, like, when it was, what was it, WrestleMania 37 in Tampa when he was there with Titus in Tampa. That's his home state. Still got there too. Big cheers for Titus, booing Hulk Hogan. It's just, he's got such a checkered past with stuff, and this history of just like, just kind of rewriting the history of stuff and everything, that it's just like, it might be time to just stop ringing. I said it already before, just like stop ringing that nostalgia sponge. We've gotten to a point with him that like the majority of the memories I have of him, like, from watching older videos and stuff and everything like that, sure, and like earlier WCW stuff watching, but like we're at a point now where like most of like your target demographic people are going to be like, their biggest memories of him are going to be when all the Gawker like lawsuit stuff and all that kind of like nasty stuff started really happening more and more. And the TNA run and like all that, just you got to just leave that one alone. We got to stop going into that well. It's poison.
I think when you look at it too, and then let's just be done with this.
Yeah.
But when you look at it, it's like That was a bad decision. It was a bad decision
Yeah.
on Tripp's part because casual fans, well, they're casual. They're not going to watch wrestling. They don't know what Hulk Hogan actually did for professional wrestling and what he did for the WWE. They know exactly what you said, Keith. He's red, and he was at the Republican conference, whatever the hell you call it. Like,
Yeah.
he was on Fox News, he was on Newsmax, like he was supporting Trump, and that's what they see. And they also see again what you said about the sex tape and the racism, and like that's not for
Yeah.
casual fans.
Yeah.
At the end of the day, it was just a piss poor decision,
Yeah.
poor
This is a big
planning.
misstep.
Yeah.
Big misstep.
All right,
Yeah.
let's get to it. Like I
Yeah.
said, the meat and potatoes.
Yes.
Seth Rollins going
Yes.
one-on-one with CM Punk. Keith, this was it. This was professional wrestling. If you wanted to watch a 3 hours and 30 minutes of professional wrestling on Netflix, streaming it, this is what a pro wrestling fan tunes into. This was it. Yes, CM Punk is main eventing, and that's really all I have to say. All I have to say is CM Punk main evented one of the biggest shows, and that's saying something. It was a decent match.
Yep.
That's all I have. I think for
Yeah.
me, the big bold point here is Keith, CM Punk main evented a really big show. And if Trips can look at that and say, okay, he was a douchebag in the past and 10 years later, and he's our guy. Maybe Seth is there. Yes, Seth is there, but CM Punk is main eventing. That's a big thing. What do you got?
Yeah, it was this. You said it. This is pro wrestling. This is the match that like I said to begin with. It's like you'll know for bringing those casual fans or keeping those casual fans around for the full 3.5 hours. You say CM Punk, they're gonna wait to see him. A lot of them are gonna wait to see him probably. Or those lapsed fans more. Maybe not new fans, but like for the lapsed fans, yeah, they'll know him. They'll know the Summer of Punk. They'll know all of that. They'll know the controversy and whatnot. And maybe they'll know the controversies and whatnot, but whatever.
Yeah.
So yeah, that's you put him on last to do it. You put a lot of stock. You rely on him to produce, and he did.
He did.
He looked a little shaky in some spots. Just if I'm going to nitpick, because I can't be completely complimentary of Punk all the time. But there were some shaky spots. But it's big night, big crowd.
Yeah.
A lot riding on it. Guys also like getting up there in age. Like I get it, trying to wrestle that same style against someone like a Seth, who also isn't as young as like I like to think that he is, but like dude flies and has like a particular style that Punk kept up with and did his best to. So like you can't fault him too much for looking a little weary in different spots. But yeah, I thought it was great. I was surprised he won. Be honest with that, but I mean, I also don't think that this is like a one and done. So I guess it doesn't really matter.
Yeah. Well, this is also
a
storyline too. It's similar to
right.
So it's like injuries. You go under this, you go into that. You interrupt Drew McIntyre. You cost him the money. They're all back and forth, and it's like what really is happening. But again, meat and potatoes, Rhea and Liv. That's what we came to see. Drew or Seth and Punk. That's what we came to see, and it was a good match to end it. I'm okay with it.